The world's most dangerous hiking trails. One wrong step, and there may be nothing beneath you, but thousands of feet of empty air. Across the world, narrow paths cling to vertical cliffs, glass walkways hang above bottomless valleys, and wooden planks shake with every movement. There are no second chances on these trails. Every step demands courage, balance, and absolute focus. Today, we explore the most dangerous hiking trails on Earth, where breathtaking beauty stands only inches from disaster. Via Ferrata Bokeit Alte. Via Ferrata Bokeit Alte is one of the most dangerous mountain climbing routes in the world that challenges the limits of human endurance. Participants on this journey must face massive vertical cliffs and narrow paths filled with many risks. The route requires skills to move on old iron ladder systems installed since the First World War, which were very difficult. With an altitude of over 9,800 feet, you are completely isolated from the world below and must manage in extremely harsh terrain. Those who have conquered this route often face extreme psychological fear, along with great pressure from the safety cable system. Just one slip can cause you to fall straight into a deep abyss. And the chance of survival after an accident here is extremely low. This is not a place for beginners because the requirements for physical strength and nerves of steel are mandatory survival factors. Pico Ruivo to Pico Ruivo. The hike from Pico Ruivo to Pico Ruivo stands as one of the most dangerous trekking routes in the world due to its massive cliffs reaching depths of over 1,600 feet. Narrow trails, only 3 feet wide, cling to steep mountain slopes and leave every visitor feeling completely overwhelmed by the terrifying exposure. Participants must frequently pass through 5 tunnels carved deep into solid basalt rock formations to reach the next sections of this intense path. Metal stairs bolted directly into vertical stone walls present an extremely harsh survival challenge for those attempting to reach the highest mountain peak. Moving across such uneven terrain requires hikers to possess great physical endurance and total concentration to avoid any unwanted accidents or life-threatening falls. This route is known as the Dragon's Spine of the island because the constantly changing landscape creates a level of drama rarely found anywhere else. Harihar Fort Trail, India. Harihar Fort Trail in India leaves many people stunned because the route to the summit rises almost vertically through giant basalt cliffs carved directly into the mountain over centuries. Ancient stone steps, with an angle of nearly 80 degrees, create the feeling of climbing a wall where every movement demands steady concentration. From an elevation of about 3,700 feet, you can watch mountain ranges stretching toward the horizon across a vast landscape. The structure was designed to use steep terrain as a defensive system, turning a difficult mountainside into an effective natural barrier. When rain arrives, water spreads across the smooth rock surface, making the journey more unpredictable, while greatly increasing the risk of slipping. Looking down from above into the open space below, you may feel stronger psychological pressure than the actual length of the trail suggests. El Caminito del Rey, Spain. El Caminito del Rey, in Malaga province, Spain, is one of the world's most dangerous walking routes, with a pathway only about 3 feet wide attached to cliffs. Before restoration, crumbling concrete sections created large gaps more than 300 feet above the ground, exposing visitors directly to the abyss below. Old rusted steel supports remain beneath the new walkway, reminding visitors of a far more dangerous era along the vertical limestone walls. A restoration project costing millions of euros transformed the route from a hazardous passage into a safe yet remarkably impressive attraction. Towering limestone cliffs rise dramatically around the pathway, creating some of the most rugged terrain and challenging landscapes for adventurous explorers. Trolltunga, Norway. Trolltunga challenges the survival limits of all hiking enthusiasts with its precarious rock formation hanging at an intense altitude of 3,871 feet. The journey to conquer this location demands immense stamina, as participants must traverse a total distance of 16.7 miles across rugged and challenging terrain. Slippery stone surfaces combined with vertical cliff edges create a constant risk of fatal accidents that any inexperienced traveler must face with extreme caution. Because there are no safety barriers at the rock edge, every step taken along the trail becomes a tense battle between human willpower and the harshness of nature. The wild isolation makes this site one of the most dangerous symbols in the world that only those with thorough preparation can successfully conquer. Facing the terrifying depth beneath one's feet requires absolute concentration to avoid unfortunate accidents that could occur throughout the long duration of the journey. Striding Edge. Striding Edge is a natural mountain ridge featuring a razor-sharp shape alongside extremely dangerous vertical cliffs on both sides. This journey requires participants to face difficult, technical climbing challenges on rugged rocks with high risks of falling into deep valleys. The location is famous for reaching an elevation of about 3,120 feet and remains a destination testing the courage of professional climbers. Many individuals who conquered this place admit that the empty feeling when looking down into the deep valleys below brings extreme fear. Since there are no safety railings installed, Any wrong step on the loose stone surface can lead to dangerous consequences. Conquering this path becomes the most brutal practical test for anyone who wants to challenge their own limits against hazardous terrains. Tianmen Mountain Glass, Skywalk, and China. Tianmen Mountain Glass Skywalk in China is famous for letting visitors step on transparent glass fixed to a cliff at nearly 4,700 feet, creating the feeling of walking through open air. This structure is built directly along a vertical rock wall, turning difficult mountain terrain into a visitor route where height appears beneath every step. What makes many visitors tense is not the few hundred feet of walkway, but the clear view through the glass into the deep drop below. The scenery feels unusual because travelers do not only view the mountain from a distance. They look straight down at forest layers and steep terrain. When the weather changes, clouds and mist can quickly cover the area, making the glass path seem suspended in the sky instead of attached to the mountain. Tianmen Mountain Glass Skywalk has become a symbol of modern adventure tourism, where engineering opens an experience that was almost impossible in the past. Pedra da Gávea, Brazil. Located in Rio de Janeiro, Pedra da Gávea is the world's largest coastal rock, and Gargandu is the deadly crevice leading to its highest peak, standing 2,762 feet above sea level, with rock faces nearly 90 degrees steep. This mountain is one of the toughest climbing routes in Brazil. Once you reach the Casqueira area, all radio signals are blocked, and if you get hurt, rescue teams have a very hard time reaching you by helicopter. The sound of ocean waves hitting the cliff creates a scary echo that makes you feel very uneasy while hanging onto the rock because of social media trends. Many people without proper skills try to climb this place for photos and cause dozens of accidents every year. Watch out for venomous snakes or spiders on the rocks because you are entering their home. Haiku Stairs, Hawaii. Haiku Stairs on the Kolo Range in Hawaii, United States, is a deadly route of 3,922 rusting steps, where the line between life and death remains thin. From a distance, the thousands of steps appear like a thin silver thread stretched across cliffs above dense tropical forest, with an extremely steep grade crossing narrow ridges. This structure challenges explorers determined to confront their deepest fears. The steel stairway is now in severe deterioration, creating the constant risk of falling into deep valleys for anyone attempting the climb. The wartime stairway, assembled by hand decades ago, is gradually disappearing under the effects of sea salt corrosion and aggressive vegetation growth. Today, the structure remains a controversial landmark, balancing secret military history against the serious dangers facing adventurous visitors. Kokoda Track. The Kokoda Track stands as a legendary hiking journey that challenges the limits of human survival through its extremely harsh and dangerous rainforest terrain. This path stretches nearly 60 meters and requires participants to face steep slopes alongside unpredictable and deep, muddy terrains. Although the landscape appears very peaceful, thousands of war relics scattered throughout the deep forest remain concrete evidence of intense past battles. Hikers usually take about 12 days to complete this route while maintaining high focus because of the hidden dangers within the forest. The health risks, combined with the absolute isolation from rescue services, make this the most frightening destination for adventure enthusiasts. The perfect combination of pristine beauty and tragic history has turned this journey into a symbol that tests the resilience of human willpower. K2 Base Camp Trek in Pakistan. K2 Base Camp Trek in Pakistan leads you deep into the heart of the Karakoram, where massive mountains, glaciers, and extreme elevation dominate the entire landscape. This route covers about 115 miles and usually requires nearly 2 weeks, taking you across loose, rock-hard ice and isolated wilderness. K2 rises to 28,251 feet as the second highest mountain on Earth, remaining visible throughout much of the journey. As you approach base camp at roughly 15,000 feet, thinner air increasingly affects breathing, sleep quality, and the body's recovery process. Along the trek, you will encounter enormous glaciers that constantly move, fracture, and reshape sections of the surrounding terrain over time. K2 Base Camp Trek is widely regarded as the boundary between ordinary trekking and true expedition travel, where endurance and determination shape every step forward. The Overland Track. The Overland Track is a challenging long-distance hiking route where people must face the most extreme limits of the wilderness. Participants must carry all their survival gear with a total weight of up to 44 pounds on their backs. The trail stretches through complex terrain where slippery stone paths and steep cliffs always threaten the safety of every hiker. If trekkers do not possess enough navigation skills and physical endurance, they will easily face serious accidents in this remote region. With a length of 40 miles, the route requires very careful preparation because any minor mistake can lead to unfortunate consequences. Conquering this legendary trail is not only a physical challenge, but also a test of courage for anyone who wants to surpass themselves. Matterhorn, Hörnli Ridge. Matterhorn Hörnli Ridge emerges as a massive stone pyramid, challenging every survival limit of the most professional climbers in the world. This journey requires absolute concentration because the unstable rock surface is always ready to create extremely dangerous rock falls. Crossing the elevation of 14,692 feet, participants must face vertical cliffs where any loss of focus leads to tragic consequences. Since the first successful ascent, more than 500 people have died while attempting to reach this iconic peak to record their names in human history. Climbers need not only physical endurance, but also skillful rope handling techniques to navigate through the narrow terrain sections. The combination of sharp geological structures and extreme exposure has turned this place into a climbing route full of hidden risks. Acatenango, Guatemala. The trekking journey on Acatenango in Guatemala offers a prime front-row seat to witness the intense eruptive activity of the Fuego volcano located right beside it. Fuego stands as one of the world's most active volcanoes, releasing massive columns of ash and lava at short intervals of every 15 to 30 minutes. Once you reach the summit of Acatenango, you get a direct view into the active vent of Fuego, which lies less than 1 mile away. Known locally as the Devil's Volcano, Fuego looms over your campsite, placing you right at the edge of this volatile natural zone. Hiking up the summit is physically demanding, as the deep layers of fine volcanic ash cause your feet to sink, requiring double the effort compared to walking on firm soil. Seeing the volcano puff white smoke against the golden morning light at dawn makes the decision to sacrifice your sleep feel completely justified. Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines was once seen as a quiet volcano until its 1991 eruption turned it into a global geological focus. About 15 million tons of sulfur dioxide rose into the atmosphere, helping scientists record a short period of global cooling. Crossing land covered with ash and broken rock, you can still see traces of destruction, erosion, and natural rebuilding. After the historic explosion, the summit collapsed and later filled with water, forming a silent lake among grey volcanic cliffs. Mount Pinatubo once sent an ash column more than 19 meters high, carrying volcanic material into the atmosphere and spreading it widely. The Gouter Route is a challenging mountaineering journey that tests human courage through the most rugged ice and snow terrain at the summit of Mlonc. This place possesses a death corridor with continuous rockfall frequency that makes any experienced mountaineer feel terrified. Throughout the past decades, more than 100 people have perished because of rocks falling freely from above at extreme speeds during their ascent. Conquering the 15,774 feet high peak requires careful preparation of specialized equipment and extraordinary physical endurance from every climber. Participants face a risk of death that is 3 times higher than common traffic accidents when crossing slopes, full of loose rubble. Milford Track is known as one of the most dangerous hiking trails in the world because of its rugged terrain and extreme survival challenges. This journey, spanning more than 33 m, requires participants to overcome sheer cliffs and unstable geological formations filled with constant risks. While conquering McKinnon Pass at an elevation of 3,740 feet, hikers must face heavy rain, creating thousands of waterfalls, plunging into deep abysses. The annual rainfall in this region reaches 300, in which turns dry paths into rushing mud rivers within just a few short minutes. The isolation within the pristine wilderness means that any mistake during this journey can lead to fatal consequences for anyone involved. Those who have conquered this location all confirm that it is a brutal battle against an incredibly harsh and truly terrifying environment. Snowman Trek, Bhutan. Snowman Trek in Bhutan, located deep within the Himalayas of northern Asia, unfolds as an isolated journey where humans must face snowy terrain and thin air for many continuous days. This route typically lasts about 23 days, forcing participants to cross multiple high mountain zones above 13,000 feet, with oxygen scarcity and constantly changing weather conditions. Night temperatures can drop below -4 degrees F, making hypothermia risk constantly present throughout this long and demanding trekking expedition. The terrain includes glacial valleys, steep mountain slopes, and rocky plateaus, creating clear, natural separation between different atmospheric layers along the route. Very few people complete the full Snowman Trek because it is considered one of the highest dropout rate trekking routes in the world today. Crib Goch in Arieiro, Wales, is a knife-edged mountain ridge that challenges the stability of every climber. Climbers face a major psychological test while moving along the narrow ridge without any protective equipment or barriers. Iron-bearing minerals in the rock create a distinctive red color, making this route visually striking and extremely harsh. Each year, 1 to 3 people die while attempting this route, marking it with many tragic incidents for the community. Crib Goch stands as a symbol of harshness, forcing visitors to show their highest courage, to overcome personal limits.